And we round things out with the NWA World Tag Team title program. So the first Impact of the month opens, as we were talking about, it was meant to be Jeff Jarrett's championship celebration, but LAX break it by attacking Styles and Daniels. Daniels is busted open. Conan attacks him as he asks how it feels to taste his own blood. Hernandez press slams AJ from the floor to the ramp. Homicide squeezes the blood out of Daniels' head. Daniels kicks a chair into Hernandez's head, but fires up, but then Homicide chokes him with a hanger. Hernandez breaks a champagne bottle over AJ's head, and AJ's fucking bleeding from that.
It's so stupid that, like, in 6 weeks of this fucking show where, like, shit is so dumb half the time.
Yeah.
They're like, let's have some real wrestling.
Like, this is a fucking awesome angle, where, like, LAX lost at the pay-per-view, so you need them to get their heat back, and they get it by just fucking decimating Styles and Daniels.
I wish they, like, almost just wouldn't do this. Like, I think I would just prefer if they, like, were just dumb the whole time.
Getting the little hint, the little tease of what this show could be is, like, more agonizing than not having it at all.
Yeah. I would rather just not have it.
Where AJ, where AJ and Daniels are gushing, like AJ's bleeding like hell, and LAX are like the coolest, most badass ass kickers there has ever been in this company, and it sets up a really hot match on TV, and it's like it's wrestling, man, it's fucking pro wrestling, and yeah, as you said, it is the exception on this show, very much not the rule.
I just, you know.
I do know, I really do. I've watched this company for a long time. JB is backstage later in the show with a bloody, incapacitated AJ and a fired up Daniels. Like, they just have they start this segment on a shot of AJ just sitting there doing his 1,000-yard stare, bleeding everywhere, before they like pan up to Daniels to do his promo. It's awesome. Yeah. Daniels says they had their shot at Styles and Daniels, and Styles and Daniels beat LAX. Daniels is like, if you wanted a rematch, you could have had one, but they won't stop until LAX are dead. He challenges LAX to another match, and Conan gets on the mic in the building and says, we accept, but we want it under our rules. We want it to be a border brawl.
Cool.
Which takes us to the main event of the next week's Impact on August 24th, as AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels lose the NWA World Tag Team titles to the Latin American Exchange in a border brawl.
Weird choice, but okay.
To do it on TV?
Yeah.
I guess the idea, I don't know what the idea was.
The idea is maybe that we're going to put Styles and Daniels back in the X Division, I guess.
Yeah, so like you have them win their specialty match, I guess, to then set up Styles and Daniels challenging him in their specialty match. That's like the story of this. And I guess because LAX were meant to win that and just move on, it makes it a little weirder that Styles and Daniels just end up winning the tag titles back again at the pay-per-view. But I suppose as setting up a blow-off in Ultimate X, it makes sense in the story they were initially telling before the creative changed. Styles and Daniels come dressed as they are. They jumpstart the match. Daniels dives over the broadcast table onto Hernandez. Daniels looks to dive off a chair, but Hernandez just catches him and drops him head first on the chair, drawing blood again.
This is a blood feud.
It is. It's funny to see, like, the TNA is not a bloody product, at least at this period in time. Moment. Like, there is periods in 2003 where there is endless blood, but like Spike era TNA is not a particularly bloody company.
Yeah.
So to get like both this and the Rhino angle on TV is like all of a sudden a real injection of blood where there hasn't been previously.
Yeah.
Styles takes a neck snap on the rope and then crashes off the apron with a thud, and that AJ way, they're like, what are you doing, man? Hernandez gets a table. AJ's bleeding again as Homicide throws a chair at him. AJ just kind of recklessly hurls himself at Hernandez over the top, which is awesome. Daniel sets up Angel's Wings off the top, but Conan slapjacks him, which is a little awkward because Conan was standing on the apron a little too long, setting it before he interfered. It kind of telegraphed it. It wasn't like seamless, but it was fine. Homicide Gringo cutters Daniels off the top through a table to win the belts. LAX are your new TNA World Tag Team Champions.
They won the border brawl.
They are the champions of the border.
Hell yeah.
I respect my border.
Then we go to next week, August 31st, where they cut a big baby face promo.
They sure do. So they kick off Impact. They come to the ring after winning the World Tag Team titles. They dedicate the titles to the more than 50 million Latinos legally or illegally in America, to their mothers that had to suffer racial abuse in America, and to those that came before them like Pedro Morales, Mil Mascares, Carlos Caron, Tito Santana, all the Guerreros, including Eddie, who of course gets the biggest pop. But Conan says he doesn't need their applause because he hates gringos.
Awesome.
I liked him setting that up, like, because he probably knew mentioning Eddie would get a pop, because obviously this is after Eddie had passed and everything.
Yeah.
So he's just like, to turn that back in the crowd, it's like, I don't need the applause of you white people. Styles and Daniels appear on the screen, said they made the mistake of playing by LAX's rules, but they've exercised the rematch clause, but this time it'll be in their kind of match. For the first time, for the World Tag Team titles, it'll be Ultimate X.
Fun. Good. I like it.
Is this the promo where Conan calls America a white supremacist nation, or is that another one?
I thought it was the other one.
There's a few where he does like full like America sucks. But yeah, there's one of them where it's like the defining feature of American culture, white supremacy.
Yeah, I think that was the hanging one.
Oh yeah, that's later. We'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, lots of Conan wrestling fans are racist promos this month, and I'm a big fan of him.
And it's like, it's so scary accurate.
Yeah, he's dead right.
For like 2024, looking at this, like,
Yeah, it's one of those things where like this was a big political hot button issue. Like the border and immigration was the big issue heading into what would be like the 2008 presidential election with Obama versus McCain. And yeah, nothing has changed. If anything, it's gotten worse.
Much worse.
September 7th Impact, we opened with a squash as LAX beat Kirby Mac and TJ Mac.
The Max. Return to the Max.
This, some would argue, is the Mac militant.
And they die. They die.
They get massacred. So the Ultimate X is set up above the ring. The ring is sponsored by Jackass number 2. So it's not just for the X Division stuff. It's set up for the ring for the entire back half of this month. Gringo Killer, which TNA calls the Cop Killer.
Fucking awesome.
Which I think he did by accident, but it's a taped show, so if it was, it should have been taken out.
It sounded like he did it by accident, and then he tried to like scramble to cover for it. But like, you're right, just edit it.
Yeah, you could have taken it out, but yeah, it sounds like he was like, which it tells you he watches his Ring of Honor tapes, by the way, that he's like, it's the Cop Killer, which they now call the Border, or the Gringo Killer. But it is the thing I've been asking for, which is like, Border Toss, Gringo Killer, back to back. It's so cool.
Border tossing them over the other guy is the best.
And he went like full sandwich border toss on this as well.
I feel like doing an LAX squash in a lot of ways is like when you go back and you watch like a 90s Steiner squash and you're like, these boys. You just feel bad for them.
Yeah. Conan grabs the mic after the match. He shows the poster for No Surrender, which he points out has Styles and Daniels and AMW on it. And he's like, this means LAX, they didn't even expect us to be here. They didn't put us on the poster. They were holding us down. But we took it by force. Styles will be going back to dark matches, and Daniels should join the Blue Man Group in Las Vegas.
Hey, Blue Man Group's still running.
I don't know why he says Las Vegas in particular, given, famously, the Impact Zone is right next to where the Blue Man Group perform in Universal Studios.
Maybe because he's a heel.
He has to send him all the way to Vegas. I guess Daniels is from the West Coast. It makes sense. It would be a longer travel for him to be in the Orlando Blue Man Group.
Of course.
The Ultimate structure is above the ring for this. Styles and Daniels clear them off, and then Daniels hangs the title from Ultimate X, and the crowd chant, "You can't get it" at LAX. This is the show where we did have the Ultimate X feature about the history of Ultimate X, set to an instrumental version of Linkin Park's What I've Done.
What I've done. Except without that bit.
Yeah, no lyrics. I wonder is like I don't know how that happens. You know?
It has to be either cheaper or like Spike randomly had like the rights to it or some shit.
Or is it like a weird thing where Linkin Park actually sampled like an instrumental for that song, so you can use the instrumental of the song, but obviously you can't use the song? Because let it be noted, this is before the first Transformers movie came out, so I think this meme should come from TNA.
What I've done samples Get Me Back on Time Engine number 9.
So maybe that is just a library track that TNA are like, fuck yeah, we can use that?
I want to listen to it. Let me listen to it. No.
Nothing like the same?
No.
Ah, well, TNA it was probably like a Dale Oliver special. It's like, that song rocks, let's rip it off. September 14th Impact, we had a package on Styles and Daniels versus LAX, and then an opening contest, which is AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels versus Cat. They show some highlights from the Styles, Bentley, Kazarian Ultimate X number 4, so that's a nice thing to tie together in the wrestling. To the two of the original men in Ultimate X, you know, Kazarian and Bentley were two of the three with Sabin, so that, which it didn't actually mention, I don't think, but I think it was I think that was the intent behind booking this. Heat on Daniels, hot tag to Styles, high-low connects on Bentley. This is one of the best TV matches of the month, and I think I gave it like 2 3/4. But it was like one of the very few TV matches this month that felt like it had just a normal TV match structure to it.
Yeah.
Where they actually got 6 minutes, which means they could just do Heat, come back, hit a few spots, win with the BME Frog Splash on Kaz. And like that, just getting like normal TV match structure and length felt like it stood out above everything else. Which tells you where we are on this show.
Yeah.
Later in the show, JB has LAX. Some ladies are dancing and shaking their booties. Next week, they start celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, and now it's personal with Styles and Daniels, and they promise violence like we've never seen before. Go Home Show, feature on Styles and Daniels versus LAX, which takes us to the main event Go Home segment, which I did appreciate that they got the final segment on the Go Home Show, which doesn't usually happen for the tag division.
Well, again, like if there was like talk about making them the main event,
It does make sense. Yeah, it does add up. And I think Kurt is the thing that changed that.
Also, it's a big set piece,
So LAX are in the ring with a mariachi band to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month.
What heels?
How dare they celebrate their culture on my show, Liam Jones? There are piñatas that look just like the Fortnite piñatas.
Racist? Is it okay?
Is that where they got it from?
Yeah, I think so.
So they have Uncle Sam hanging in the middle of the ring.
It's fucking cool. I want that in my bedroom.
The visual of like the symbol of America hanging from the ring as they celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month is so sick.
It's so sick. It's so funny that there's probably people out there that are actually mad about it.
Yeah, because they do stuff later in the year where they like go like even further, where they're like going to burn an American flag on TV.
That's awesome. Like, why can't like they just let that like shit go? Just be like, it's for art.
And also, it's the argument always made against them, which they'll never understand because they're arguing in bad faith anyway. But like, the ultimate sign of the symbol is the ability to destroy the symbol.
Damn buzz.
So yeah, Uncle Sam is hanging. LAX promised they're going to bring a level of violence so bad that Ultimate X will be rechristened the Ultimate LAX match.
Good bit.
Conan points out the white supremacy of America, but Latinos are taking over. This is where TNA gives out about Conan and his personal political agenda. It's like, no, he's dead right, Mike.
And also, yeah, it is a personal political agenda based on reality.
These are an oppressed people.
We're so woke. Look at us go.
Discriminated against. Conan starts whipping the hanging Uncle Sam over the lies and exploitation of America.
It's fucking insane. How did this get on television on Spike TV?
Could you imagine the complaints if a wrestling company did this now?
They would be over.
Remember when Hangman and Cole accidentally like invoked Jesus Christ on like Easter?
Yeah, because they had like the crown
of barbed wire, and like people made a deal about that. Whereas here it's like they are hanging and whipping a symbol of America while talking about how America is a white supremacist nation.
We should have posted that clip when the election happened. Would have done #numbers.
Styles and Daniels eventually run out and crash the party. Hernandez press slams Daniels to the floor, then powerbombs AJ. They attach AJ to the harness and then hang him. They hang him from Ultimate X and whip him with a kendo stick and beat their asses as LAX stands tall. And that's our go home segment. We open the pay-per-view with a feature, like with the classic TNA cold open, where the theme is like presidents promising things set to Conan calling America a bunch of bullshit.
How do they keep doing this?
So there's specifically a part where Conan talks about the great American lie, which is directly juxtaposed with an actual George Bush clip saying combat operations in Iraq were over.
It's insane. It's insane. Like, no wrestling company has done shit like this, And they probably didn't even know what they were doing,
Yeah, like the culture war wasn't really a thing at that point.
Yeah. I also need to mention that like the theme for like No Surrender was Fighter by Candle Fuse. Which is a fucking banger of a song.
Great song. We heard it, if you remember, for the 4 years of TNA history package at Slammiversary as well. It was played there too. Great song. It's been burned in my brain for 18 years.
It's a great song.
It's on Spotify if you want to go listen to it. So yeah, the broad theme of this package was like political figures encouraging peace, and then Conan being like, we're going to do a murder.
It's so fucking cool.
We had the segment with LAX supposedly being accused of robbing a car by our king.
Again, proving their point.
Don West had AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels in an earlier Today segment where they were in the empty arena below the Ultimate X. They talked about how LAX can use any gang tactics they want, but Ultimate X is their world. Daniels accuses Conan of spewing racist propaganda.
Yeah, anti-white propaganda.
Daniels said if Eddie Guerrero stood here today between Conan and something Conan wanted, Conan would cut his throat too, which felt a little raw for a dude who died last year.
But I guess like if Conan's cool with it.
He pointed out that Conan doesn't care about Latinos, he cares about himself. Which should be what the angle is.
Yeah. Now that's the only way you can have like the white guys be baby faces, is to be like, you're spewing all this because like to push your own success and nothing more.
The way you phrase that, I think, is a really important distinction between like how Mike Tenay phrases it versus how it should be phrased. Because Mike Tenay talks about how they're pushing their political agenda, which is, yes, treat Latinos equally. That's not crazy, Mike.
What a crazy agenda.
As opposed to the way you phrased it, where he is pushing their success, which I think is a really important thing that they kind of forget to frame it as.
Well, because they don't think about it that deeply.
And they also don't feel the need to rationalize it because they're foreigners.
Because, Latino bad.
They don't need to like think about how does this not make them baby faces, because in 2006 it doesn't.
Yeah, because like for us in 2024, of course we're viewing it in this like way. But like no one was questioning it. Well, a very few people were probably questioning it, you know what I mean? Like I guess the biggest problem with it, like not the biggest problem with it, but the thing that like makes it even more apparent is like just how cool LAX are while they're doing it. It's like, even if like some people are like, oh yeah, whatever, blah blah blah, they're doing this, doing that, like they are objectively cooler too the entire time, which doesn't help.
Yep. We have a feature on Styles and Daniels versus LAX, once again set to an instrumental version of Linkin Park's What I've Done. And then, in Ultimate X, AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels defeat LAX to regain the NWA World Tag Team titles.
Why? Why are we fucking jumping these belts back and forth?
To get to another match next month.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's okay. Like, as rationales go, you could come up with another way to have Styles and Daniels get a rematch, but fair enough, you know?
God, the LAX Team 3D feud's gonna suck ass.
Yeah, they have a real stinker.
Electric Cage?
Yep.
Is that one? Yeah.
So, Homicide slingshot Styles into Hernandez belly to belly. Looks awesome. Homicide hits a tope con hilo where he goes all the way over the rail into the crowd. It looks awesome. AJ Styles immediately follows that with a Fosbury flop. LAX try to use the ladder, but Styles Daniels stop them. Crotch Hernandez on the ladder and get rid of it.
That's illegal.
It's the one rule. I'm so mad that like the Hardys once won Ultimate X with a ladder. It's like, you're babyface. It's fun. LAX are cheating here. Like that's the heat that they're using a ladder. The Hardys were babyfaces. Hernandez cracker jacks Daniels off the top. Also looks awesome. Homicide cutter Styles off the cables. Also looks awesome. Styles does like the best. Like Styles' 1,000 yard stare is like best of all time.
Yeah.
No one's ever done it better. When he takes a big move and just has that glassy-eyed look into the distance, never been anybody better.
Yeah.
Hernandez goes to climb, but then Styles like teeters him into a splash on Homicide, so that's your one kind of spot of the big man trying to climb Ultimate X. Conan sets up a table on the floor. Daniels hits a BME, but instead of AJ doing the frog splash like they usually do, he hits a spiral tap instead.
And it's maybe the best spiral tap they've ever done.
He comes down with such an oomph onto Hernandez's gut.
It's wild.
AJ hits a Styles Clash on Homicide off the apron through a table.
This is a stupid fucking finish. I'm like, insane.
So Daniels is trying to climb Ultimate X, but Conan is like guarding the center of the ring with a kendo stick. So if Daniels approached, Conan would hit him with a kendo stick. So instead, Daniels climbs the truss all the way to the top, stands on the truss, and leaps from the truss straight to the center of Ultimate X over Conan in the ring so he can't get to him. Conan does at one point try to throw the kendo stick at him while he's taking the belt down, which I did appreciate. So he leaps from the truss to the center, pulls the belt down. Styles and Daniels win Ultimate X. They're tag team champions once again. Celebrate in the crowd. Crowd go crazy. The crowd start bowing to them at one point. And yeah, awesome finish. Awesome visual. The leap of faith from that truss to the center of Ultimate X. I really hope they tested whether or not that would actually hold.
I hope they didn't. I hope they just went for it.
Yeah, because like we were talking on the watch along that they have like a center cable that they don't normally have in Ultimate X. I think expressly to like add extra enforcement. Like they have a cable coming from the top of the building to the top of Ultimate X to add, I think, a little bit of extra support there to take the weight off a man jumping full force from a distance into the middle and hoping the thing doesn't collapse. Awesome finish, awesome match, awesome wrestlers, awesome tag teams. I'm happy to do it again for another month.
Yeah, I'll take it again. And also if we get more insane LAX segments.
Yeah, awesome Conan racism promos and just beating the shit out of the white boys.
Can't wait for Russo to ruin this somehow.
I'm sure he will. I don't remember what the build is to Bound for Glory, so that'll be fresh in my mind. I don't remember what they do.